we know there's a 3-man tier at the top of the tight end position. It's really a 1-person tier of Travis Kelce and then a 2-person tier of Darren Waller versus George Kittle. I'm not sure it really matters which one goes ahead of the other, Matthew. I mean, if you look at the mocks, the past 3 mocks we did, Kittle went 28th, Waller 32nd. Kittle went 30th, Waller 36th. Third one, Waller 28th, Kittle 30th. They're going within a handful of spots of each other. I'm not really here to debate whether either of them deserves to go ahead of the other one.
What if I am? What if I'm ready to go to the wall for Darren Waller?
Oh, you can. Go for it. Go to the wall.
I just think what he did over the second half of last year was amazing. And so you look at the situation in Las Vegas, it's basically the same. They lose Nelson Aguilar. They gain Kenyon Drake in terms of major offseason moves. But in essence, the offense is the same. The coaching staff is the same. The quarterback is the same. And you could argue that Aguilar leaving actually helps Darren Waller, right? There's somebody who got a lot of targets last year in the passing game who's not there. As for George Kittle, who has one of the toughest guys in the NFL, not questioning the man's toughness at all, like one of the most tough guys in the NFL, but certainly because of the physical nature of his style of play, he has been banged up over the course of his career. There are questions at the quarterback position. Brandon Ayuk became a thing last year. They're going to get Deebo Samuel back last year. Am I saying George Kittle's not going to get a ton of targets? Of course he is.
Yeah.
But my question is that I think there's a lot more unknown about what the 49ers offense looks like this year. They added Trey Sermon, and they want to run a lot this year. Yeah. There's a lot more unknown about the 49ers offense this year than there was Darren Waller. Do I think George Kittle has a great year? I do. He's my tight end 3, and I don't have him much below Darren Waller in the overall ranks. But I do think there is a clear, to me, Darren Waller is the clear number 2. I
have him ranked second as well. I don't know that it's quite as clear. I think we do tend to forget just how absurd George Kittle was in 2018 and 2019. I want to come back to the tight ends for 1 second in just a moment. But flag this thought. We should get a counter going of how many times I say this during the preseason. Brandon Ayuk, my breakout star of the NFL in 2021.
Yes.
Flag that one there. But back to George Kittle.
Hasn't he already broken out a little
bit? Look at the numbers.
How are we defining breakout?
Same thing we always say. Just like a major step forward this year. He was hurt for quite a while last year.
Over the second half of the season, that guy was a monster.
Okay, I'm just telling you.
I think. Just saying.
That
guy won Seth Markman in the War Room League.
I'm ready for it.
Even better this year is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
a big step forward here for Brandon Ayuk. But the question I really wanted to ask about Waller and Kittle is there merit to these players actually going earlier than the middle of the third round or the late part of the third round? And here's the reason why. While Kelce provides a clear and obvious advantage over your position relative to basically every other tight end in the NFL, including even these two, Matthew, I think there's a chance that if these guys are on the field for most of the year, that they could still be a pretty big gap ahead of most tight ends you're facing. Like, I know T.J. Hawkins is going to have a good year, Mark Andrews, and a couple other guys, maybe one of the 2 Patriots tight ends. But in the weeks in which you're not playing against like one of those core 5, 6 other tight ends, these players could present you with a bigger edge than what you're going to get when you're drafting one of the many great wide receivers who could be talented, who also could finish as like a top 25 guy as opposed to a top 12 guy. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense, and I totally agree with it, actually. By the way, you have a pick in the top 5 or 6, right? And so let's say you start Derrick Henry. Right. Like, you get Henry or Kamara like at like pick 4, and then you come back around in the second, and you get like Waller or Kittle. Like, somebody very good in the third round is going to be there if you want, like, either
Brandon Ayuk.
I don't think you need to reach for Brandon Ayuk there. But listen, like, A.J. Brown will probably be there.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
other
somebody,
players.
like somebody, like there'll be a good wide, a very good wide. Allen Robinson will be there, right? Sure. I have Terry McLaurin as a top 10 wide receiver this year. Like, he'll be there. Like, guys like that, if not even higher. So I have no problem with a running back Waller/Kittle start. Or honestly, I've seen some people, depending on your league, just going weird and getting Kittle, going like Kelce and one of the 2 guys.
Wow.
Starting tight end,
basically like
and just like
or flex them.
Yeah, or you could flex them exactly, and obviously in tight end premium, I've seen that as well. I did a best ball draft where I started like that. My team was sort of interesting there, but so the idea there is, for me, I don't have a problem with that at all, because you do have an advantage there, and there is so much depth, especially if you get a star running back with your first pick. Having one of those guys as your second, you'll get a very good wide receiver. And again, like, I think there's enough sort of mid-tier RB2s that you can get in the 4th round, especially in a 10-team league. So I like the call quite a bit.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.